Hi, I'm Jeff the Junk Seller. This presentation is going to be about the Highway 80 sale. This is going to be the first of two parts. I'm only going to cover a photograph collection that I got um, on I believe I got it on Saturday on the 19th. The sale went from the 16th. I think it probably ran on Sunday too, which would have been the 20th of October 2024. I only went on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and I did okay. I felt like I wasn't when it was happening, but in retrospect, when I sat down and look at everything that I got, I did really pretty well. But this photo collection, I bought a group of stuff. I'm only showing the part that's related to the Rawlins family, Rawlins. Um, it happens to be a pretty historic collection, and I think that um, the final owner of this will probably be a university collection somewhere. I think probably TCU or SMU. SMU buys a lot of good Texas photographs, but TCU had a lot of material on the Rollins family when I was looking online. But this Rollins family, a lot of these photographs had the names, the identifications of all the subjects in the photos were um, written on the cards, and generally I stay away from those kind of photographs. It's just really frustrating. But everything said Rollins, and these were small towns in Texas, Ennis, Texas, McKinney, Texas, and Lancaster, Texas. And I know a guy. He's been a customer of mine, and he's made some presentations. I think he just considers himself a collector. He's not a scholar or anything, but he has made some presentations to some museums and some other collector societies for photographs. He's pretty well regarded. But I sold him some photos before, some CDVs, some carte de visites, and they were of Texas, and probably 1870, 1860 to 1870, that kind of period. And he told me that Texas, North Texas, was kind of a wilderness at that time, and he advised that any tintype that you could attribute to North Texas would be worth getting, and same with the CDVs. And there were plenty of them in this collection, and there were a couple of Kiss posters, some other stuff that I'll put in the uh, other presentation that I'm going to make for the Highway 80 sale. But um, these I found the reason that I really got excited about the collection. Not only did they have the small Texas towns and the imprinted on the cards, and there were a lot of cabinet cards. I think the census on it were 50 tin types, 8 CDVs with Texas imprints, 14 other CDVs, and 85 cabinet cards. And then there were some other photos. There were some real photo postcards, a couple of real photo postcards. Um, and The thing the first photo that I noticed in there that I really liked was it was a tin type, two men sitting at a table, and it's not, it's got some burnout in it. It's not a very well developed photograph, but they're sitting at a table and there's a teletype machine between them, and the teletype is crisp, it's easily identifiable, and there was that photograph, and then there was another one that was a post-mortem photograph, an old woman, just laying dead. That this was a habit at the time, and it was kind of peculiar because while I was at the sale, I told a lot of people that I was looking for photographs and old postcards, and I had several people tell me that if I had any post-mortem photographs that they'd be interested. Now, I can't sell this one outside of this collection. I need to leave the grouping intact. Um, but when I saw the name Rawlins on there, I actually I mused to myself that this might be Richard Rawlins's family, from Grease Monkey Garage. He's from somewhere in north central Texas, and I'd driven past one of the service stations on the way to get the album. But this guy, I asked everybody if they had photographs or old postcards, and I passed out a lot of cards. I think probably 40 cards to people, and I think that there's a pretty good chance that I end up getting some more photographs because of this. But this guy, I saw him on Friday evening, about the time that I was finishing up my travels, and I asked him if he had any old photographs, and he said that he did, but he didn't have them with him. So I think it was about a 75. It's a 75-mile drive from where I'm staying to where he was, and I told him that I would be back on Saturday, and I made it there Saturday morning. And when I was talking to him, I told him that I was going to pay him whatever I was willing to pay him. He has a lynching photograph somewhere, and he has some other photographs, and he's out there picking a bunch of stuff. He's got some stuff that I really want to see. So I had to pay him well. I need for him to sell me all the photographs that he's got, and so I thought that I made him a pretty generous offer, and I while I'm talking to him, I told him that I was going to pay him whatever I was willing to pay him, regardless of how he got this stuff or not. And I asked him about it, and he said that it had been on the side of the road, that he picked it up um, off the side of the road. It was just put out for trash. And then he went back to the house the next day and met the people that were putting the stuff out and got some more stuff. He says he's got some more photographs somewhere. But I get this out of there, and he told me, I asked him how he did on Friday, and he told me that he did pretty well, considering he was there about an hour late and he didn't really have a whole lot set up. But I asked him how much that was, and he told me $200. And I can't imagine setting up in a market and just being happy with doing $200 in sales. But I told him he'd be pleased with what I was going to offer him on these photos. And this is before I knew what they were. I had to do a lot of research to figure out what they were. But I offered him $100, and he was really, really happy with that. And I told him that my reasoning was that he could put this out on the tables and fight with the audience that this market was bringing him. And I told him, I don't think that you'll sell most of this, and you're not going to get nearly $100. I said you probably won't be offered but $20 or $30 for this stuff, and he was in agreement with that. He was in fact thrilled to get that amount of money. And I got back and I started researching it, and I didn't print this off because I'm not certain about copyright laws, but everything that I found out that I learned on this, I learned from Wikipedia for Lancaster, Texas. But there was a Marabou Lamar, the second president of Texas. They needed to have the North Texas settled, and they gave a bunch of land to a guy. I think his name was Peters. And I think they called it the Peters Colony, something like this. You can, if you go on Wikipedia and look up Lancaster, Texas, and go to the history, they'll show you this. But he had 19 associates, I believe it was, that they all advertised all over the country. They say primarily Kentucky, Missouri, Illinois, and I think Indiana. I think looking for settlers, and they were able to get 600 families to move to north central Texas. And of those 600 families, the first family to move in was a man named Roderick Rawlins. And I think they say 40 family members, men, women, children. And they started a little a community called Hardscrabble. And I don't think that I have any of Roderick, but I have photographs um of his brother Milton, I think it is. And most of the photographs that I have aren't the settlers that the first generation. I think some of them are, but I don't think that most of them are. I think most of them are second and third generation. The woman whose post-mortem photograph I have, um, she came here as a young child, or came to uh, Hardscrabble as a young child. And the photograph that I have of her, it's so hard to tell ages on these people. She looks like she's 80. She might have only been 50 though. It was Hardscrabble life. They aged pretty quick. But I got 50 tintypes that are most likely all Texas. And I have the 8 CDVs that have Texas imprints on them. And that's a pretty incredible collection on its own. And I think that I don't know how this will work. Most of the time when you're dealing with universities, they want donations, except SMU is known to pay pretty good money for decent collections. And I think that I may be able to get $1,500 for this group. And so far, I had to clean up the album. Some of the pictures needed to be trimmed. They were just, it looked like they sawed them with a saw to cut them down some of the boards. And there's some of them that still need to be soaked off of the back covers. Most of them are in pretty decent shape, but I put them in Mylars, and I'll probably have to sell it based on this media, on this presentation. And I'm only showing some of the better photographs here. I'm not showing all of them. There's just too many of them, and this stuff will be filed away, put in a file cabinet somewhere, and I'll try to solicit one of these university archivists to see if I can't sell it there. But I think that I can make the money that I put out on it on the KISS posters and a handful of other photographs that I got that aren't related to this collection. So, I'll be safe putting this back. I won't have harmed myself financially. I just won't have any ability to make a profit in the short term. But I like doing business like that. I'll backstock some good stuff. I don't have a problem with that. But I think this is a fantastic collection, and it's about the tenacity. The guy told me that he would have them, and I needed to start. I kept starting my sale journey further east each day, and I needed to start in Gladewater anyway, and I went from Gladewater nearly to Longview, and I really didn't find much. I found that photograph album, and I think I found 3 cast iron skillets, and then I bought a vase that I shouldn't have for $1, and I bought a teapot that I shouldn't have for another $1. But this photograph collection, this was probably the best thing that sold on the entire Highway 80 sale, and I just happened to stumble into it, and that's just kind of my luck. I feel pretty blessed because I don't have to be real smart. I just have to be active, But I hope that you've enjoyed this presentation, and if you did, please give me a like, and please view some of the other presentations that I've made. And if you do, and you enjoy those, and please subscribe. But I want to thank you for viewing.